Okay, so now that we've seen a few translations of a function already, let's see what happens with function reflections, okay? And to illustrate here, I've used this example, f of x equals 5x minus 9 over x squared plus 3, and I'm going to use this as my original function and to demonstrate what happens when I do these sort of reflections on it. So if I put a negative sign in front of the entire function, that's effectively saying put parentheses around everything, and then just put a negative sign in front of it. The graph is going to be a reflection across the x-axis. In other words, a vertical reflection. So let's just see what happens here on my graph. I've already typed in my function. It's been graphed here nicely in the color green. And if I type in negative f of x down here in my input, it's going to give me a new function, and there you see it. This it's calling it g of x, but it's the same thing as this function, and you can see that it's a reflection across the x-axis. Okay, and let me just make this a different color so it's a little bit easier for us to see. Make it about there. Okay, so now you can see that the transformation negative f of x, in other words putting a negative sign in front of everything, makes it a reflection across the x-axis. Now let's look at I'm going to hide that, and let's look at the other example here when I have f of negative x. So what this means, again in function notation, is wherever we have an x, it's replaced with a negative x. So 5 times x now becomes 5 times negative x. X to the second power now becomes negative x to the second power. And let me type this in here in my input. So I type f of negative x. Let's see if I can just zoom in down here a little bit so you can see a little bit better. You can see that I'm typing f of negative x into my input. Hit enter, and there it is. It's giving me a new function. Let me change the settings on this a little bit, make it a little bit thicker so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, and you can see between the blue graph and the green graph there is a symmetry across the y-axis because it's reflected across the y-axis. So if we just kind of cover up the left side of this and the right side of this, you can see that they're mirror images of each other. So you can see the green on this side matches the blue on this side. Okay, so the blue here goes down, the green here also goes down. And they're perfect symmetries of each other from the left and the right. Okay, so to recap here, if I have my original function and I put a negative sign in front of everything, it's a reflection across the x-axis. You're looking at the top and the bottom, there's a symmetry there. However, if I decide to have this function transformation going from f of x to f of negative x, replacing all the positive x's with negative x, it's going to be this function, which also has symmetry, but it's over the y-axis. You see the left side is the blue graph, the right side is the green.